Sunday at around 3 p.m. in the evening, Maria Sarungi was abducted by 4 men at Chaka Place in Nairobi, and despite efforts by a city shuttle bus to block her abductors, the 4 armed men managed to make their way with Sarungi, only for her to be released hours later following pressure from not only civil societies, Kenyans, but also international envoys. Speaking just a day after the ordeal, Sarungi narrated how her abductors whisked her away on her way out of a salon at Chaka Place. The vocal activist who has been criticizing the Samia Suluhu-led administration says the Tanzanian government is behind her abduction and that she was destined for Tanzania.
There was Tanzanian involvement. The way they were speeding and the way we were going on the bumps, and then after a while we got to a bit of a rough road, and then we went again on good roads. My estimation, and I voiced it later, is that they wanted to cross me. They wanted to take me across the border. I'm asking for the abductions to stop, and I'm asking for true democracy, which includes not abducting, hurting, and killing the opposition in Tanzania. I'm not a member of the opposition, but I speak up for them because they are under threat.
Sarungi argues that regardless of efforts to intimidate her, she will not be cowed and will continue to call for good governance. The media editor cum activist is questioning the timing of her abduction, with Tanzanians expected to go to the polls this year.
I'll not relent and I will not decrease anything. And in fact, it has given me so much things to be grateful for. As you rightfully said, this could have gone so wrong. There was a point in time when I was convinced that I was about to be taken across, and I knew the minute I crossed, you would never hear from me again. 2025 is a watershed year for Tanzania. There is going to be a general election where for the first time we're going to be seeing the citizenry more awake than ever before.
Despite fleeing Tanzania and residing in Kenya since 2020, Sarungi argues that Kenya has been a safe haven for her, showing her gratitude to Kenyans for the spirited fight in calling for her release. However, after the abduction, does she still feel safe in the country amid rampant cases of abductions?
If you'll allow me, I will have to do assessment together with some assistance in terms of safety. I will say one thing. What makes me feel safe in Kenya are the Kenyans. What I experienced yesterday, I don't know how many people know that when you are being abducted and you see people fighting for you and they don't know who you are.
With questions emerging about the safety of not only locals but foreigners, months after Ugandan opposition figure Kizza Besigye was kidnapped in Nairobi, only to resurface 4 days later at a military court in Kampala, Amnesty International alongside the Law Society of Kenya are calling for accountability from the government, noting that the trend is worrying.
This is a very dangerous precedent to Kenya when foreign nationals do not feel protected, they don't feel secure in this country, then this is really dangerous.
We are calling for accountability from the government. The government has been very clear in evading our responsibility. As the Law Society of Kenya, we will demand for command responsibility.
This comes even as civil societies in Kisumu have issued a 21-day demonstration notice if the government fails to tackle matters of abductions and the reconstitution of IEBC. Ian Keitani for K24 Evening Edition.